Up before you go home.
Would be, yeah.
How's the horse recovered from that gruelling 2 miles of the Melbourne Cup?
Fantastic. You wouldn't even know how to run.
And
Quite amazing, really.
I guess one of the interesting questions is you've drawn wide again. Is this something that's happened in your racing career?
Well, it seems to be happening over here. I think they just leave the outside marble out for us.
And what do you think will be the riding instructions for your husband when he jumps out of the gates?
Well, he races fairly handy usually. He races in the first half dozen of the field, so he'll be up there.
All right, good luck in the Cup.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And another visitor to Bendigo for the $100,000 Cup is the South Australian stayer Jolly Good Thought. The 6-year-old bay gelding comes from the Russell Cameron stable at Morfettville and amassed prize money of $170,000. Last month, the horse won 3 handicap races in Adelaide, and last Wednesday, Jolly Good Thought finished a close-up third in the Kyneton Cup.
And the whips are cracking and coming home very hard down the outside out on Graham Bader driving through in the centre. 5 or 6 in line. Graham Bader's up to split dash to the front in the Cup. Big Rap's got through on the inside, but it's going to be Graham Bader who wins from Big Raps. There's Jolly Good Thought.
Russell, Jolly Good Thoughts come to Bendigo with a pretty good record and a nice run in the Kyneton Cup last week.
Yeah, it was a good run, Alan. He didn't have a lot of luck, but still it's a good run for for the race tomorrow anyway.
The horse has settled in pretty well in his surrounds here in Bendigo.
Been very happy, yeah, he's done really well.
What will be the riding tactics you'll be giving Greg Hall in the big race?
Hurry home. No, I never give it good jockeys instructions, Alan.
You haven't fared so well with the barrier draw, but with a few scratchings, it looks like you're going to be pretty happy with the eventual barrier.
Well, there is a chance of a bit of pace on the race, so a bit of luck he might be able to get across from out there because I think it's only about a furlong in the first turn, isn't it? So, he's certainly got to get across if he can, yeah.
And what do you see as the danger in the Cup?
I thought the top weight of Quiddy looks very well. Come through the run, the Melbourne Cup very well looking at him. So I'd say he's been stationed here for quite a while, so I'd say he'd be hard to beat.
All right, well, good luck in the Cup.
Good, thanks very much.
That's the Morfettville trainer Russell Cameron there with Jolly Good Thought as the runners arrive in the mounting yard for the Cup. And Clem Dimsey, quickly, your thought on who will win this year's NEC Bendigo Cup?
Alan, I'm very keen on Big Raps. He walks like a stayer. He finished from near last to run second in the Kyneton Cup. He's been set particularly for this race and the Ballarat Cup, and I thought that he did win the Gosford Guineas as a 3-year-old. That was only 1,600 metres. He's got a bit of class about him. I thought Big Raps could win. Quiddity, I thought, was the obvious danger, and I like your fancy, Alan, Jolly Good Thought.
How long, Clem, since you've tipped a Cup winner?
I don't think my memory extends that far, Jenny.
I'm getting a bit the same, actually.
Well, we're certainly going to know in a few minutes' time, Clem, so good luck with your call of the big one today. I'm sure it's going to be a great race. So let's have a look at the horses in the mounting yard now, and the top weight in the Cup is Quiddity, and on the TAB here in Victoria, showing $1.70 for a win. Jenny, what's his form like?
Well, his form is very good, Alan. He drops a lot in class here today. His last start, he ran right next to Savage Toss, who came out and won the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and that, of course, was in the Melbourne Cup. This race really does suit him. He's got 56 kilos. He's drawn barrier 16, but really his class should nearly get him over that. I think he's going to be very hard to beat.
Kevin Forrester rides number 2 in the book, Gypsy Invader.
Her form is very hard to knock. Her last 2 wins, the Moe Cup, the Kyneton Cup. It was a fabulous ride from the barrier that she drew that day. She drew barrier 16 around that tight circuit. Admittedly, she did get into the fence and didn't have to do it all that hard, but really she went to the line like a very good horse, and really she's my tip in the race.
Right, number 3 in the book is the South Australian Jolly Good Thought, to be ridden by Greg Hall.
Well, he led and fought on very well in the Kyneton Cup. He was placed in this race 2 years ago. I think with Greg on, you've got to give him a chance. His form has been pretty good leading up to this race.
The South Australian horse is number 4, Stavardale, to be ridden by Michael Clark.
Well, he's an 8-year-old stallion, this fellow. 53 days between his races. It's a little bit of a worry because over these sort of distances, 2,200 metres, you sort of like to have them with a bit of a lead up, but they do like to keep him fresh. He does race better fresh. Looking at him in the mounting yard, he does look particularly fit, so they've obviously done a lot of work with him. I think you'd probably have to leave him there with a chance.
Number 6 in the book is the Queenslander Cool Credit, showing $4.60 here in Victoria.
Well, Cool Credit has been placed over the 1,900, but he's definitely on trial here over the 2,200 metres. He's running the Toorak wasn't all that bad. It was actually quite a good run, but his last 2 runs have been very disappointing, and he'll really have to improve quite a lot here.
Number 7 is the book, one of the outsiders, the Kerrang galloper, Rolsify, Alan Trevino.
Rolsify got very well, a long way back I should say, in the Kyneton Cup last start. I just wonder whether or not he'd like a bit of a sting out of the ground. Track is rated good here today, but I think I prefer to see him on a little wetter track.
Number 8 in the book is Big Raps, and showing $2.80 in Victoria, making the trek down from Warwick Farm in Sydney.
Well, he got well back in the Kyneton Cup. He got a fabulous run on the inside, and he got through. I think he was beaten fair and square that day by Gypsy Invader, and I think I could only give him a place chance today.
Number 9 is Fame the Spur from the Ray Lawson stable at Flemington. Michael Hegney is the jockey.
He was placed in the Geelong Cup there behind Mr Brooker. On that form, it was very good because, of course, Mr Brooker ran 3rd in the Melbourne Cup. I don't really think he was suited on the tight Kyneton track that day, and I think he's probably better suited here at Bendigo. I'll give him an each-way chance.
Well, one horse with an each-way chance is number 10, Lanavon, which comes from Murray Bridge in South Australia with some pretty handy form in Adelaide.
His form does look good in Adelaide. I think he's really facing his toughest test today because it's pretty tough, and the Strathalbyn Cup, I'm not saying that it wasn't tough, but I really do think he's got a lot harder opposition today. On his side, he does drop a lot in weight. He had 56.5 kilos in the Strathalbyn Cup. Today he's got 51.5 kilos, so he's probably left there with a place chance.
Number 12 in the book is Batuta, to be ridden by Robert Heffernan. Batuta won the Cup in 1988.
I think he's got to be in this race with a chance, Alan. He's got 50 kilos, Robert Heffernan again to ride. His form before the Melbourne Cup was excellent, a couple of really good runs. Melbourne Cup, maybe the track was a little bit hard for him that day. Track being good here today should suit him, and I think he's got to be left there with an each-way chance at fairly good odds.
And now let's have a look at the outsiders in the field. Number 14, Chapel Street, C. Brow.
Definitely an outsider here, 49 kilos might help, but I think Chapel Street might be well outclassed.
Showing $105 on the tote is number 15, High Armour.
I actually don't mind this horse. I thought, unfortunately, he has drawn barrier 17. It's going to make it a little difficult for him from that barrier, but I think he's a very underrated horse, and in maybe something just slightly easier, I think if you have something on him each way, then you might get some money.
Number 16 in the book is the Ballarat-trained River's Edge.
Well, River's Edge, hard to see him winning really after his last 2 starts. They have been very disappointing, and he's got to improve a lot. He has got 49, a lightweight, but I can't have him.
The Payne family from Ballarat have number 17, Campaigner, in the field.
His recent form has been quite good, a win at Warrington Bill and then a second at Werribee behind Doc Savage. Still, again, it's very tough here, and I don't think he's got much of a chance in the Bendigo Cup.
And down then to number 18, Maori Legend from the Ralph stable at Epsom.
One that I'll be very surprised if it wins, actually.
Right, that's the runners arriving at the barrier for this afternoon's running of the NEC Bendigo Cup. Let's go out to Ted Ryan and Ray Lawson.
Yes, Alan, Ray Lawson's been patiently waiting down here. Fame the Spur. Ray, I feel he's going to be suited by the bigger track here, and it was an excellent run on the Geelong Cup, not suited at Kyneton.
I think so, Ted. His best runs have always been on big tracks, and he went to Kyneton and Cranbourne, and they were ordinary runs, but I blame the track for it. Therefore, on Bendigo, big track like today, similar to Geelong, I think he'll run a cheeky race, yes.
Wish you well, Ray Lawson, and might be talking to you in the winner's circle.
Well, I hope so, Ted. Thank you.
Good on you, Ray. Back to you, Alan.
Well, thanks, Ted, and Ray Lawson there, and he's talking about his chances with Fame the Spur as they arrive at the barrier stalls. And I guess in this race, Jenny, the jump is very important for Greg Hall on Jolly Good Thought.
Well, it certainly is, because he's drawn quite wide, and, you know, to get across and get a nice posse. Top jockeys, though, can seem to do that, especially in these big races. I've got to, in summing up, I really do like Gypsy Invader to beat Equidity and Batuta.
All right, let's have a look at a TAB update here in Victoria for the Bendigo Cup, and the approximate dividends there. You'll see that the favourite Equidity on $1.80 here in Victoria. Also in the market are Gypsy Invader, Jolly Good Thought and Stavardale. Cool Credit has plenty of admirers there, number 6. Go down to number 8, Big Raps, and it also is well in the market. Each way odds there for Fame the Spur, Lanavon and also Batuta, and way out the market with paying out some very big money here in Victoria for Chapel Street, High Armour, River's Edge, Campaigner and Maori Legend as they arrive at the barrier stalls for the NEC Bendigo Cup. Jenny, I'm going for the South Australian Jolly Good Thought to win from Gypsy Invader and Equidity.
And you're a good judge too, Alan.
I take the top 3, that's how the handicapper has placed them, and that's as we attended the Bendigo Jockey Club Calcutta last night, and they were the big money horses. And I do understand that New Zealand rider David Walsh is very keen about the chances of Equidity, and he's going to hunt him up in the first 4 or 5. So that's the horses arriving at the barrier. So let's go trackside now to Clem Dimsey.
Thank you, Alan. This is the big one, the one that we've all been waiting for, the Bendigo, the NEC Bendigo Cup. Runners are moving forward, waiting on Rolsify. Big Raps is in. River's Edge walks in with Campaigner. Now coming along is Cool Credit in the gold blinkers. The Kyneton Cup winner, Gypsy Invader, comes forward into gate number 7. Fame the Spur in 8. Hayamore, Equidity to come forward. Jolly Good Thought comes in near the outside. Equidity coming along into gate number 15. Waiting on Rolsify to come along and Hayamore to come up. Batuta is lashing out from behind in gate number 4. Hayamore goes in. Runners are set now. Lanovan showing it's throwing its head about in the air in gate number 2. Starter goes towards the front of the platform. Ready, racing. Equidity jumped quick and is being hustled out of the stalls by David Walsh on the outside to get across. Staverdale jumped out well, and prominent in the early part was Gypsy Invader. There's Jolly Good Thought in search of the early lead and gets it quite easily. Out of the straight, 2,000 metres left to go in the Cup. Jolly Good Thought the leader. Kicking up on the inside was Chapel Street. They're followed then by Fame the Spur. A length and a half to Gypsy Invader in the box seat. Next was Equidity. Walsh has done a big job to get it across. One off the fence out of the straight. 3 wide was Campaigner. They're followed by River's Edge. Then Staverdale, and they steady in front. A length and a half farther back was Batuta. They're followed then by Big Raps about 4th last with Maori Legend. Hayamore was 2nd last, and last of all was Rolsify. Into the back straight proper they travel now and head down towards the 1,400 metre mark. Chapel Street on the inside led. Campaigner moving up on the outside. Jolly Good Thought dropped in 2 lengths away in the box seat. Gypsy Invader's back behind him, a length and a half away, and then Fame the Spur. 2 lengths behind them, Lanovan. Next, Equidity, well-placed centre field. Staverdale on the rails. They're followed then on the outside by River's Edge. Hayamore going around them 3 deep, and then Batuta. A length and a half then to Big Raps. Well back was Cool Credit, back near the tail of the field. Last of all was Rolsify, and next to last in the centre there was Maori Legend. As they make the back turn past the 1,000 metre mark, and Campaigner on the outside led the Cup field by a neck to Chapel Street. Jolly Good Thought given a good run in 3rd place by Hall. Running 4th on the outside, Fame the Spur. Next over on the outer then is Gypsy Invader coming away from the fence. Lanovan was next, and now the runs are coming from back in the field. Starting to wind up is Hayamore on the outside. Equidity has taken wider, and Staverdale coming away from the rails as well. Coming towards the corner now, the pressure being applied at the 400 metre mark. Campaigner the first into the straight. On the battling back on the outside now is Jolly Good Thought. He's travelling well. Fame the Spurs out 3 deep. They're followed by Lanovan. Here Staverdale let go with a brilliant burst out wider on the track. Equidity looks to be struggling, and then Big Raps at the 200 metre mark, and Jolly Good Thought kicked away. He's got away by 2 lengths. Equidity in the 2nd place, trying hard. Jolly Good Thought a length in front. Equidity's cutting him down. The post might be too close. Jolly Good Thought in front and 1. Jolly Good Thought and Nostril Equidity. 3 lengths away, 3rd either Cool Credit or Lanovan. They're followed in then by Gypsy Invader. Next home was Big Raps. Wider on the track then was Batuta, followed by Hayamore. Then Rolsify. Well back in the field then was Maori Legend, Campaigner, Fame the Spur, River's Edge, and Chapel Street, one of the early leaders, dropped out to run last. Judge no doubt will call for the camera finish. Brilliant ride by both Greg Hall and David Walsh, but Greg Hall stole the march on Jolly Good Thought. They've got about 20 metres to go. Equidity starting to fly down the outside. Jolly Good Thought getting a bit wary near the line. He's still in front. The finishing line is approaching, and Equidity is taking ground off him with every stride. They hit the line. Oh, gee whiz, it's tight because of the angle, but I thought Jolly Good Thought might have lasted, but it is very, very tight. Russell Cameron is anxiously waiting the result of this, the trainer of Jolly Good Thought. he'll be anxiously watching the semaphore board, and the numbers we want are number 3, Jolly Good Thought. It's got it, number 3, Jolly Good Thought has one ridden by Greg Hall.
Written by Greg Hall, number 3.
Russell, it was a pretty tight one, but it's got the money. Congratulations. I'm all sure that Bendigo will be right behind you, especially Bezza and I. We want to know where the party is.
Well, we'll make one, Ted. I think there will be one.
Well, it was a magnificent ride. He got him over from 15, one off the fence, a marvellous effort in about the first 250 metres.
Yeah, I left it all with him, and he's a great rider, so, you know.
Well, nothing more you can say, Russ. Just go and enjoy yourself. Well done, and congratulations on winning the 1990 Bendigo Cup.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Russ.
Good on you, Russell Cameron there, and he's taken out the big one on Jolly Good Thought, ridden by Greg Hall this afternoon, and started at pretty good odds here on course. Was a terrific run in the Kyneton Cup last weekend. Jenny Chapman.
It was a good run and a terrific ride there too by Greg. I was surprised that the photo took so long actually, because I really did think he'd won quite easily, but never mind. Greg's got the money and you've got the money.
Yes.
More importantly.
That's a great win, and it's of course raced by Mrs. B.J. Mangelsdorf, who comes from South Australia, and Mrs. J. Fitzgerald, who lives up the back of Balranald in New South Wales. So the TAB in Balranald, I hope you've got a few bob to pay out this afternoon.
It'll be fantastic, yep. And there's certainly some very happy punters behind us, nice and rowdy, so they've all backed it for sure.
Well, it's probably a change of fortune for Greg Hall, who had a pretty quiet Melbourne Cup Carnival.
Well, he did. Of course, he was out with suspension, and then he had a couple of injuries, and he had the flu. So, yes, it's a nice change of luck for Greg, and he's a great jockey, and he deserves the success.
Well, the whole family have had terrific success, and there's the big wave from Greg Hall coming back in front of this 15,000 crowd. And those famous pink and black colours, and Greg Hall winning the big one this afternoon, the $100,000 NEC Bendigo Cup. And the TAB numbers were 3, 1 and 6. First prize in the Cup today is $65,000 and trophies to the value of $1,250. And also second prize getter in Quiddity will pay expenses home to New Zealand, collecting $20,000. And the third place getter, Cool Credit from the Gold Coast, will also get expenses, claiming $10,000 for third prize money. Jenny, that's good money.
It certainly is. You know, Bendigo had a lovely promotion day down in Melbourne for the Bendigo Cup Carnival, and whatever they do it very well, don't they? The committee, they really do need to be commended on it.
We'll have the TAB information very, very shortly with the TAB numbers of 3, 1 and 6. We'll wait for the correct weight signal on the cup. First off is Greg Hall from Jolly Good Thought. Next is David Walsh, who had a great race on the favourite Equidity, just beaten in the last few metres of the race. And next up on the scales will be Greg Childs, a New Zealand rider, riding the Gold Coast horse in Cool Credit. We'll have the numbers there, 3, 1 and 6. We'll be back with the correct weight and the winning jockey right after the break.
The carnival is here, and placing a bet is so simple. Just fill in the venue, the race, your selection and the number of units. Then place the card in here, and good luck.
On the TAB. Stop and think. What would make you change your personal cheque account? How long will you go on paying outrageous bank fees and letting banks charge you while they use your money? Well, now there's an account that puts you in control. A system control personal cheque account. It pays high interest, does not charge bank fees, gives you the convenience of a Visa debit or credit card with automatic teller access, plus worldwide Visa acceptance. Interested? Then talk to the Bendigo Building Society.
Up and at 'em, let me at 'em. Up and at 'em, get up and grab 'em. Fighter Brits, up and at 'em, mighty Brits. Let me at 'em, fighter Brits. Up and at 'em, mighty Brits. Get up and grab 'em. What keeps 'em going? I'll give you one guess. VIGABRITS. Up and at 'em, up and at 'em. Let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Up and at 'em, up and at 'em. Get up and grab 'em. Fighter Brits, up and at 'em.
Education budgets have seen better times, but Captain Snooze is helping to give the kids a better start with the Better Education Sale. Buy anything from Captain Snooze this week, even until midnight on Friday, and we'll donate up to $100 to the school fund of your choice. That's right, buy anything and get a donation of up to $100, and we still guarantee the lowest prices. The Captain Snooze Better Education Sale. You get a better bed for less, and the kids get up to $100 towards a better education.
Captain Snooze, service advice and the right price.
Welcome back to the Bendigo Jockey Club's NEC Cup Carnival. Let's check the TAB information on race 5, the NEC Bendigo Cup. And the winner, number 3, Jolly Good Thought, has paid $4.55 and $1.40. Number 1, Equidity, 80 cents. And number 6, Cool Credit, returning $1.65. The Quinella, $7.30. And the Trifecta, $220.65. Let's go trackside now. Ted Ryan has winning jockey Greg Hall.
It's all right for you, Bezza. You backed him. Good on you, Alan. Yes, Greg Hall, a magnificent ride. The only way you can describe it. 15. I think you surprised a few. I think a lot of the jockeys may have thought you may drop out and try and get up on the inside, but you fooled them, as the saying goes, Greg.
Yeah, young Ted said to me, he did say it'd probably be up there, he said, but I'll leave it in your hands, you know, and when the horse jumped so well, I was very pleased. He left the gate so quick, and I knew I didn't spend a penny getting across, and the only little doubt I had was going out of the straight here was I would have liked something to take over, and as it turned out, about a mile from home, something did, and give me a nice sit from there on.
Well, Greg, you hit the front in the straight, and the other one, Quiddity, came at you very strongly, about 50 out. Were you a bit worried then?
Well, I hadn't spent anything in the run, Ted, and I thought the two leaders were coming back, and they're under a lot of pressure, and I really didn't want to be left in front that far from home, but because I was very, very doubtful of him running the mile in 3, and but because I hadn't spent so much, I went on him sort of, probably at the 300 I started really asking him, and 200 I pulled the stick. I said, well, he hasn't spent a penny, so they've got to catch me now. And, you know, he wasn't badly weighted. I think he dropped in his weight from kiting. And
2 kilos.
So, yeah, he's 2 kilos better off there. And, you know, sure, if it had been a little bit further, the other horse, looking at it, you know, he might have got up and done me, but it was my day, so that's how it
Last one, mate, were you confident in the photo?
I was doing some pretty serious business then, Ted, and I didn't really know, because I had my head down and I was in it, but I was quietly confident. Yeah, I wasn't sort of disappointed on the line, no.
Well done, Greg Hall. Thank you very much, Greg.
Well done, Greg Hall. Congratulations. A great ride in the Cup. And Clem Dimsey joins us. Clem, that was a beautiful ride from an outside stall.
Perfect ride, also by David Walsh. Thought he rode Equidity very well. He probably lacked that dash, Jenny. Would you think perhaps that was the problem?
Well, he probably did, but all the same, he did make up a lot of ground in the last 50 metres or so. But I think just watching Greg Hall in slow motion there, he's such a strong rider, and he just got every last penny out of that horse and just got him to the line there to survive that photo finish. But Equidity, he was flying, maybe just you know, unfortunate for David Walsh, because he's probably nearly timed it right, but he's just missed out.
Almost a nightmare for race callers when you throw out the expression, he's finishing well, but the post is going to be too close. And all of a sudden you wonder whether the post is going to be too close.
Yes, that's right.
All right, Clem, we'll leave it there, and let's go out in the car park area. Good afternoon to Helen Ballard.
Thanks, Bezo. Well, the race has been won, but the party's far from over. We're making the most of the beautiful weather, and there's plenty of champers to wash down the Bendigo Cup Day feasts. Looks like they're settling in for an afternoon of drinks and fun. And Bezo, I hope you're having some Cup Carnival fun there too. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Helen. Yes, we're having plenty of fun out here in the sun this afternoon at the Epsom Racecourse, and the presentations are just being completed on the Bendigo Cup, and we can check the totes for you there. Jolly Good Thought at $4.55 and $1.40, Equidity returning 80 cents, and the Queensland horse Cool Credit paying $1.65. That's the TAB information for race 5, the NEC Bendigo Cup, which was run over 2,200 metres here this afternoon on a good track in fine and warm conditions at Bendigo. And it's been a tremendous race and a big crowd of some 15,000 people out here as we leave our friends through Vic TV this afternoon. Right, Jenny Chapman, what did your thoughts go on the big race, the Bendigo Cup today?
Well, I really thought all credit to the winner. Probably unlucky Equidity because, you know, he's only been beaten in a photo finish and it's always a shame. But never mind, I mean, there are the results and there's correct weight, so Greg's got the money and Russell Cameron's got the money and the owners have got the money, more importantly, because there is a lot of it, $65,000.
Yeah, let's see if we can have a look at the presentation area there, and you'll see that Greg Hawke receiving the accolades of this 15,000 strong crowd here this afternoon for the big one, and we'll have a listen to what he has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great thrill for me to win this race. I won it last year, so it's 2 years in a row. NEC sponsor it. Without these people, none of this can happen, and we've got to support these people the most because we need them for racing. The Bendigo Jockey Club, what a great track this is. I love coming here, and today's no exception. I'll put it down as the finest track for any country track in Australia, and it's quite equal to many, many good tracks we have in the Metropolitan, and it's no different today. It's superb the way he's put this track today. The curator is a credit to him. And to Russell Cameron, it was a bit of a late ride for me, but Russell always gets me when he can, and I thank him very much for the ride and the horse for what a great job he done. Thank you.
The winning jockey, Greg Hall, and a great ride this afternoon on number 3, Jolly Good Thought. We'll be back with more and our preview of the next event coming up after the break.
Capri, now with a 16-valve double overhead cam engine. Overseas, they can't wait to get their hands on one. Can you?
For Carnival is here, and placing a bet is so simple. Just fill in the venue, the race, your selection, and the number of units. Then place the card in here, and good luck.
On the TAB.